But let's get started with last night's exciting finish in Monday Night Football. The Jacksonville Jaguars come all the way back and end up beating the Kansas City Chiefs. How about this one? Final 31-28. Trevor Lawrence, final play of the offense, ends up fumbling basically over his feet. So the ball doesn't come out. He falls down, gets up, falls down again, and then runs in for the game-winning score. Great game for Trevor Lawrence, by the way. He was the star of this one. Chance at the end of the game, I would say, for Kansas City, kind of thin, but the Jaguars get it done, so they cover that 3.5-point spread, also win outright. They improve to 4-1 on the season. Here's Liam Cohen on a signature win for his team.
Yeah, really, that's the theme, I think, and that was what we talked about as a team, although we would like to make things very interesting, and it wasn't perfect by any means, but the resiliency is really what I think this team has and has continued to show. There was really no flinch or blink when you're down 14-0. I think early on we might have had a little bit of bright eyes and in a kind of big game that you can understand a little bit in some ways, but got down early, made an effort to come back. The guy stuck with it. Halftime, Devin Lloyd shows up again with a huge play. Really took all three phases. I thought all three phases really impacted the game. A ton of stuff to correct, but the toughness and resiliency is really something I'm proud of.
Meanwhile, the Chiefs committed 13 penalties in last night's game. That really was the difference because they outgained Jacksonville in the game. But Andy Reid says that doesn't really matter.
My hat goes off to Jacksonville. They did a nice job. We obviously had 13 penalties to their 4. Whether I agree with them or don't agree with them, it doesn't matter. They called them. And so you have that many penalties, you give up field position, you can outstat them to death, but it doesn't matter. It's the score that matters, and we've got to take care of business there. So
obviously it sucks. You let a game slip away. Credit to them. They played hard. They played hard the entire game, and they got a lot of good football players. And they closed out there at the end, and so it still sucks whenever you get a lead like that and you're not able to hold it through the rest of the game.
Meanwhile, in Major League Baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers take a commanding 2-0 lead in their best-of-7 series in the National League Division Series against the Chicago Cubs. Lots of home runs by the Brew Crew, Contreras, Vaughn, and more. 7-3, the final. That's been the story for the Brewers all season long, timely hitting and using the long ball to get ahead. And now certainly the Brewers have put themselves in a position to advance with a couple of more wins. Pat Murphy, manager of the Brewers, says sometimes home runs are simply created by the pitching. Take a listen.
That's anytime, home runs are thrown. They're not created. They're thrown. And, we took advantage of that. And sometimes that happens for us during the season. Sometimes we have to win other ways. But the key is you got to find a way. And if you have different ways to win, if you just rely on one thing, it's harder to win. So I'm really pleased we did. Vaughn's home run and then Contreras and Churrio's homers, was the difference in the game.
Look, we made a couple mistakes with multiple runners on base, and after getting off to a great start, those mistakes for 2-3 run homers is going to be, you're not going to win playoff games giving up 2-3 run homers. That was just too much to overcome.
Meanwhile, Red October not going the Phillies' way, to say the least. They lose 4-3 yesterday. Dodgers do hang on to win this game. And as I mentioned, LA has a commanding lead. Who would have thought they would go into the city of brotherly love and pick up the first 2 wins? But good job by them. And it's kind of fair to say at this point that the Phillies, with all that home field advantage that they've had over the years, hasn't really amounted to much when they've gotten into the postseason. They've lost to a number of teams and have yet to win a World Series behind their home crowd. Here's Freddie Freeman on talking about going to Philly and picking up both wins. It was a surprise, apparently, to him.
I think we were just sitting at our locker as I was getting dressed, and Kika goes, "We just took 2 here. This is a hard place to play. An incredible fan base. It is loud here. For us to come out here, I think we were like get 1, and then obviously when we won 2 days ago, that's when we try to gun ho and get 2 out of here. This is a hard place to play. We obviously put ourselves in a great position going into Wednesday. Hats off to our starting pitching again.
Well, I'll have probably a little meeting with them on Wednesday, but I love the fight in the 8th and 9th inning. They fought like hell, and hopefully that carries over into Wednesday. But this is a resilient group. Our backs are against the wall. You just got to come out fighting.
We go back to Matt.
Will Ranger start game 3?
It'll be Aaron Nola with Ranger behind him.
So those two starters in a do-or-die situation for Philadelphia. Today, Game 3 between the Mariners and Detroit Tigers. A little bit of late afternoon baseball, 4:08 Eastern. And then 8:08 Eastern tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays will take on the New York Yankees in New York, with the Blue Jays leading that series 2-0. Carlos Rodon and Shane Bieber, the starters there. Logan Gilbert starts for Seattle. Jack Flaherty starts for Detroit. In the NFL, things have not gone well at quarterback since losing Joe Burrow. Cincinnati Bengals trying to figure this out. Will they go back to Jake Browning or pick somebody else up? Today, they released Mike White off the practice squad, which indicates they're ready to bring another quarterback in. Who that is remains to be seen. And here's Zach Taylor on what that may look like moving forward.
We'll see where it goes. It's, I think, like all personnel decisions, we got to evaluate it. Jake's been very accountable for how the game went for him. I've got to be accountable for how the game went for me as well. And so we'll continue to progress here through the days.
When would you want that to be finalized going for a game week? When do you need to have a guy?
Obviously, these are things that we talk about every single Monday and Tuesday. So we'll evaluate a lot of positions. I think finding more opportunities for our playmakers to get the ball, and finding ways to get them easy touches that they can lead to productivity in our offense. We haven't been productive enough. I don't worry about statistics right now. I care about wins. That's all I worry about. But at the same time, I know that we've got to get more productivity, and that's more opportunity from a lot of our key guys on offense to be able to get the ball in the end zone. And that's me finding the cleanest ways to get them the ball so they can impact the game.
Los Angeles Chargers don't need a quarterback, but it looks like they'll need a running back, as Omarion Hampton was placed on injured reserve. They've also lost Najee Harris for the season. As of right now, Jim Harbaugh has Kimani Vidal and Hassan Haskins in the backfield. Here's Harbaugh on the injury to Hampton.
He's going to miss time. Ankle injury. We will put him on IR to return, so he'll miss at least 4 games, and then he'll return as soon as he can after that.
Do you know the nature of the injury?
Ankle. Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal, and Omar Johnson's on practice squad, and we'll look to at other avenues as well.
Meanwhile, the Lions have lost Terrion Arnold for a long period of time, cornerback on the Detroit Lions, and J.J. McCarthy will start getting back on the field. Carson Wentz has an injury to his shoulder, but the Vikings are on a bye, so they won't need either of them this week.